Okay, I've cut my papers for my cover, but before we get into that, I want to make sure that you put your ribbon on if you're using a ribbon closure. So I have this ribbon from Country Craft Creations. It says It's a Boy with a little teddy bear on it. I cut it to 2 pieces, about 24 inches each. And I'm going to attach one to the front and one to the back. So I've grabbed my wide score tape. You can use any width that you have. Tear off a piece of score tape. And I'm going to pretty much center this. So if you want to take your ruler, your cover is about 9.5. So that would make it about 4.5 is 9. About right here is your 1/2 inch mark. So make sure if your ribbon has words on it that you put it the right direction. So I had already checked mine to make sure that the album, this is the top, and then you're going to turn it over and you're going to tape the other ribbon onto the back. Now I left this long because I want to make sure that we have enough for tying up a pretty bow. So if I need to trim it later, I will. So this one's going to go about right here, just lining it up with the other one. Okay, so we have our ribbon on for our closure. And to keep it out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and tie it. So yeah, that's pretty long there. So I'm going to trim just a little bit off. About here, I'm cutting off about 5 inches. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to put on our pattern paper. So I've cut out 2 the same of this one that I set aside that are 7 1/8 wide by 9 3/8 tall. Make sure we got the album at the top here. This is the front side. I'm going to go ahead and peel this paper backing off right there. So again, 7 1/8 wide by 9 3/8 tall. And I'm going to use glue. And let's make sure we have it straight on this the right side edge and top to bottom here. So just before I really press it down, I'm going to make sure that it fits good. There. And burnish. Burnish really well over the ribbon there. And get all that smoothed out so there's no bubbles. Okay. Turn it over. And we'll do the same thing on the back side. And just make sure you have the top of the album up here at the top. Checking my directions to make sure. Don't want to make any mistake. At this point, we've gotten so much done, we don't need that. Now my front piece of pattern paper was about 1/4 inch wider than what I have given you directions. This one here is the correct width because it doesn't have to go all the way to the edge because we're going to cover the spine. We're going to wrap the spine. So we want to make it straight right here. Okay, and smooth it out so you see you have a space here on the side, and that's fine. And then let's turn it for the spine. And I'm going to use ribbon to hold it up here. Now, this piece for the spine wrap is 4 7/8 wide by 9 3/8 tall. And I'm just going to lay it here. You're going to want about 1 inch on the front and 1 inch on the back. Now, I'm not going to score the fold lines. You're just going to loosely press it down. And get your fold here. You have the curved areas of your spine. You want to put glue on the outer sections and just on the center. You don't want to put anything where it touches the curve. So I'm going to put glue here, right along that curved section. I'll leave the glue off of it. And I'm going to go ahead and put glue here. And then here along the edge. And right here. So I'm leaving this area free of glue where it wraps around the album. Then you carefully place it on, make sure it's lined up here on the front. Press it down very gently. You have no glue here where the fold is, and then burnish the back as well. So just take your bone folder and burnish the front, the spine, and the back. Like that. And so there we have our album cover, and we can add some trim. So to bring in the yellow of the little ducks, I cut 2 strips of the mustard seed yellow from the Spectrum. I'm going to use the dot side, and then I punched the edge with a lace punch. And here I have put a 1/4 inch score tape, about a 1/4 inch from the straight edge, and I'm going to wrap this piece of ribbon and lace from Country Craft Creations right along this piece. Now I'm going to put the lace just on the front side, so I have folded this over here on the back. Go ahead and peel my tape backing off part way here, because I want to wrap the ribbon end. So I'm putting it where I want it and folding it over here on the end. And I will cut some of this off back here. There. I just don't want a raw edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this down. Move my book out of the way. I want to pull it, get it as taut as possible onto the score tape so that the edge of the scallop is right along the edge of the paper lace edge. But I want this ribbon pulled as tight as I can. Go ahead and take this on the back off, and then I'm going to wrap it around and cut that ribbon right back here. So it's attached there, and see how it looks on this side. See if I need to trim some of this off right there. So that gives me the finished edge that I want at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to take my book, and this is where I'm going to put this strip here with the lace. And I'm going to look at it. If I think it's not straight enough with score tape, you can pull this up and you can reposition. So get a better look at it. And just pull it really tight right there. Yeah. Sometimes with some of these ribbons, it's kind of hard to make them be as straight as you can, but do the best you can. Get it as straight as possible. Let's see if that looks better. Okay. think right there in the center is not fitting exactly where I want it, so I'm going to do it again. Right. I think it may be the ribbon is there a little crooked, but I think that looks better, so I've attached it back around. Now then I'm going to take the glue, and I'm going to put glue on the paper here on the back, some underneath this lace right here, a little bit on the ribbon. Now you can use any color of paper trim that you want to on yours, any of the spectrums that go with the collection well. There's the teal blue and the ivory or the off-white that look pretty as well. I just wanted to bring in the color of the ducks. So I'm going to bring this even at the top and bring it down right here at the bottom. Make sure it's flattened down and put on as straight as possible. And burnish down. Okay, covered at the top and the bottom. And then I'm just going to put this piece on the back side with no lace on it. So I'm lining it up on the ends here, and I'm leaving just a bit of the blue wrap showing so that it's not into the wrapping where the curve is. I'm just going to burnish this down really well. And we have this matching trim without the lace on the back. I don't want the lace because I want the back to lay down pretty flat. So got that. And that's the back. And there's the front, and we'll add more later. In the next tutorial video, tutorial number 10, I will show you how to make a frame, a wrapped frame for the front of your cover.